Hey, it's little Trey, and today we are going to do a color and chat because I want to. I have this on my desk. I was working on it a little bit this weekend. This is Color Counts Animals. It's a color by number by Mindware. I love Mindware stuff. Their stuff is so good. So this is what I've done so far. Did that one. And they always come with one that's a color by number. And then they have a second one that doesn't have anything. So you can color it any way you want. And then they come with these double page spreads. I love that one. That turned out so pretty. And then, of course, you get the same. And I accidentally bled on that one. And then I get a giraffe with a moon in the tree. So yeah, this one apparently is going to be horses with some butterflies. So that's what I'm using, and these are the alcohol markers that I'm using. ZSCM. This was the very first marker set I ever got. And I can't even remember when I got them, a couple of years ago. They've been great. They're only now, some of them are getting to the end of life. Even though I don't really use this brand anymore. I usually look for Touch Cool. This is the thong shop. Most of these are like Touch Cool. Most of these are like the same kind of colors, but I don't know. I just tend to do those. So anyways, let's get started and let's chat a little bit. I'm doing number 2 right now. So I need to do my cruise book, but I'm still unclear of how I want to do it. And also, I cannot find where I put my stuff. I know it's in this room somewhere. I just need to find it. I have my journal, so I got all my memories. But I need to get it done because I need to pull out my Halloween glue book because I've gotten several things for Halloween and I want to put the packaging in my book. I got the cats some cute Halloween stuff at Target. I got them some little zombie. It was a little pack of mice. One was a zombie, I think. One was like Beetlejuice. One was a candy corn. Oh, they were a big hit. Ember loves them. And then I got a 2-pack of like they were skulls. And when you squish them, they were like crinkly paper inside. And one was green and one was white, and the girls loved them. I didn't figure they would, but they fought over the white one, like the very first night. In fact, Willow came and pulled it out of my hand because I was showing my friend on Marco Polo, which is a great app, by the way, especially if you have loved ones in a different state. Basically, you can just record a video message and then they can watch it whenever. And it has been a lifesaver for me and my friend in Kentucky because both of us have social anxiety. Yes, I do have social anxiety. And I do not like to talk to people on the phone because of that. A lot of it is because I can't hear very well. So I rely on looking at your lips to tell me what you're saying. Otherwise, everything's very muddled. So if I can't see your face, then I have a hard time hearing you. Yes, I had a hard time with everybody wearing their mask. It was nearly impossible. My husband, who is truly deaf, he has limited hearing only in his left ear. That's it. So he had a hard time, and then he relies on me a lot. And then I was having a hard time because I couldn't see anybody's lips. So we were giving each other like confusing looks constantly. because neither one of us knew what was going on. So yeah, I don't like to talk on the phone. And that kind of carries over to like video chat or anything like that, because it's just anxiety ridden for me. So I just don't like to do it. But I really enjoy, like listening to her on video, because then I can rewind it if I need to. I can stop if I need to. I don't have to pay attention. That's another thing. Like talking to people on the phone, I have to pay attention. But if I'm watching a video, I can turn it off when my attention wanes and then come back. So we like it. We like it a lot because we're not intruding on each other's time. We can take the time to make the videos when we have the time and then watch them when we have the time. And that's a lot better than trying to say, okay, it's 6 p.m., we're going to call and talk. Because then that puts a lot of stress on us, because then we feel like both of us have to perform, because she has social anxiety as well. Hers is a lot worse than mine is. I can force myself to do stuff where she cannot. Kind of like the whole thing with my team when we had that kind of falling out. She was like, just quit. Just quit. And I'm like, I'm not going to quit. But I was just like, I cannot. I was having all kinds of problems getting on stage, And she's like, I just don't see how you do it. And I'm like, well, I just force myself. I just do. I don't like it, but I just do it. If you just make yourself go along with it, then all of a sudden you got no choice. You're doing it. I think that's what it is. But yeah, speaking of that, everything went okay. I had some problems before I went on stage of having panic attacks. If you guys don't know what happened, my coach, who has zero breast, made a comment about us bigger girls breast bouncing and seemed to think that there was a scientific solution for that we were just refusing to try. Because I told her, I was like, look, I'm already wearing a high-end no bounce bra. I don't know what else I could do. And then she accused me of wearing the wrong size bra, because apparently she doesn't believe I'm as big as I am. And this is what's so bad about it is I actually thought, am I wearing the wrong size bra? So I went and I spent that day like measuring myself and going to different websites for measuring and all that. And I'm like, this, and at the end of it, I was just like, this is ridiculous. She has shaken me so badly over such bull crap. I know my body. I know what size bra I wear. Now, granted, a lot of women don't. A lot of women don't. And I highly suggest that you go and get yourself measured. Lane Bryant does it for bigger ladies. I don't know if they will do it for smaller ladies. I bet Victoria's Secret would. I don't know if they do bra sizings or not, but yes. And if you cannot bring yourself to do that, there are plenty of online bra calculators. I suggest you try several. I was floored when I found what my correct cup size was. I am like a 44H right now. And I was like, what? No way. And I was cramming myself into a C cup. A C cup. So anyways, I had a lot of anxiety about that because, I already have a lot of anxiety when it comes to my breast anyways. Because I developed early in middle school, and therefore I was subject to all those middle school boys' attentions and vile comments and all that, and it made me feel badly about my body because I already was being raised in a religious household and was told, sex is bad. Good girls don't have sex. Um, which I tell you, that mentality is so damaging. I even have a problem with I'm 51 years old and I still have a problem with it. It caused me all kinds of problems. Um, so you're dealing with that, and then you're also dealing with, oh, you got to be careful how you dress because you cause temptation in men. So you're dealing with that too. So, now I'm feeling like extra guilty. So, I mean, there's just a lot of baggage that, comes with that. You will not find me wearing outfits that show my cleavage or anything like that. I downplay my breast to this day. I mean, it's just one of those things that just really affects me. So the fact that she even brought this up and in such a callous way, and the fact that she didn't come to people like individually and talk to them privately, but brought it up in front of the whole team. So it became a public shaming. I mean, she really did body shame me. She probably did not mean to, but she absolutely 100% body shamed me. And so it was really hard going and getting up on that stage. But you know what? I made the tough stuff and I did it. I absolutely did it. And it was hard. And then, oh my gosh, guys, my world came tumbling down after that because I thought, after that happened, and I went through all that and then it turned out okay. And I thought, all right, I got through the hard part. Now is the easy part. And it wasn't. It wasn't. My world actually came tumbling down. Me and Jeremy got into such a terrible, terrible fight the very next day. Guys, oh, it was awful. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Hold on, let me go check and see if that's my, I almost said dinnerly. Oh my gosh. Every plate box. Be right back. Okay, it wasn't. Um, I love Every Plate, by the way. Oh my gosh, if you have the opportunity to do HelloFresh or Every Plate, do it. Absolutely do it. It is amazing. But yeah, I may even have to stop a couple of times to go and run because it's raining pretty hard right now. And I don't want it to sit in the rain. So anytime I hear a big truck come by or whatever, I may stop and run and check so that it's not in the rain. I love my little UPS driver. He's the guy that usually comes and drops it off. Because a lot of times I'll be outside and I'll have the garage door open and he'll come and put it inside my garage. He's so sweet. I love him. He'll just say, like one time I went out to the driveway to meet him and I was going to get the box. He's like, I'll just put it in your garage. You can just go ahead and finish what you're doing. Because I was like pulling up some weeds. He'd probably walk up and put it in my freezer if I asked him to. He's a nice guy. So, anyways, Jeremy ended up getting really sick at competition, and we got into a little tiff that night because I didn't know he was sick. And so he had came back to the room and like fallen asleep, and I was like starving, and I was expecting him to be like picking out where we were going to eat. And we kind of had gotten into it because I was hangry. And so the next day, well, after I found out, he was sick or whatever, we just kind of hung around the hotel room, which sucked because we were at the Opryland Hotel, which is an amazing hotel. It's a resort. So, luckily we had gotten there Friday night, so we were able to walk around and we got to see like there's a water show. They have like a boat. They have several restaurants. They have a water park. I mean, it's just this big, huge hotel. They have several like gardens you can stroll through. It's just a really neat place. So we had booked a room for Friday night and Saturday night. And of course, Saturday I competed all day. And so then Saturday night we were going to finish, roaming around the hotel. Well, then he got sick. We don't know if it's COVID or not, even though he's vaccinated. So we did the responsible thing and just stayed in. We uh, ordered some food and stayed in, just chilled. We had a window in the room, which was funny, that looked out on the inside of the hotel. And on the inside of the hotel where we looked out, there was some fountains and a bridge, and we could see the boat come by. So I mean, wasn't unpleasant to be in the room. We still got to people watch and all that. But anyways, when we came back, he got him some NyQuil, and then he decided that he had bought some bourbon on the trip because he collects like whiskeys and bourbons. He's just like, I don't know. There's this whole thing about it, like single barreled whiskeys and stuff like that. So he wanted to try out some of his new stuff. Well, about 4 p.m., he comes up and he is like angry. And I'm like, what? And he starts like yelling at me about all this stuff. And then it just escalates from there. So he just constantly is yelling at me. He ended up telling Kenan to leave, which was probably for the best for that night, because it's best that Kenan not even witness any of that. And then Jeremy's just like saying all this negative stuff to me and just saying a lot of my negative self-talk back to me, like your friends don't like you, your team hates you, and just awful stuff, just awful, just tore me down for hours, to the point that I even called his mom and was like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, you should call the cops. And I'm like, I'm not going to call the cops on him. It's not like he was violent or anything. He just kept yelling. He was just annoying as crap. And he was hurting my feelings. It's like, hello, 911. Yes, my husband's hurting my feelings. I mean, he wasn't violent or anything. He just was just this constant, I'm a horrible person kind of thing. And I tried to get him to talk to his mom, and he wouldn't, and all this stuff. Well, he finally calmed down probably about midnight and all that. Well, the next day, he gets up, and I'm like, what the heck? And he has no memory whatsoever. He had drank that whole bottle of NyQuil, and then had some alcohol with it. And he was just, and I had taken like a video of him, because I mean, he was never like this, and I was like, there's no way, he's got to be blackout drunk. So I took a video of him and showed it to him, and he was like, oh honey, this is disgusting. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's absolutely disgusting. So even though I know in my heart that he meant nothing by anything he said, it hurt my feelings. And it was like a lot of my negative self-talk coming back at me. And let me tell you, now your negative self-talk is one thing, but when somebody says your negative self-talk back to you, that's a whole nother ball game. Because then you're like, wait. Because when it's your negative self-talk, you're like, shut up. You don't know nothing. Yeah, it's just negative self-talk, whatever, and I'm not listening to you. But then when somebody else is saying it, then you're like, oh, we can't just discount it as negative self-talk because it's not even coming from you. So, yeah, that was hard. That was really hard, and it's taken me a while to get over it. And then to add insult to injury on that is Jeremy was so sick that we couldn't even make up or anything. He pretty much had to isolate himself because that was Monday. All this happened on Sunday, and then Monday was Labor Day, and he had to isolate himself because he couldn't go get a test or anything. And then Tuesday morning he went and got a COVID test, and it was negative. But we still were cautious because it was just a rapid test. So he stayed home. He didn't ever have a fever or anything like that. And he talked with his work, and they decided, let him come back in. And he worked. And he just did not get better. And so all that week, he was horrible. He just was pouring snot. and just sounded horrible, felt bad, just awful. He did not run a fever though. So we're like, okay, it's just a bad head cold. And then this past Thursday, he's like, I've got to go back into the doctor. So they ended up giving him another rapid COVID test, which was negative, and the doctor was like, yeah, you are so sick. I'm going to give you the whatever one, the big extended test or whatever. And so he gave him that test, and Jeremy said that when he said he put it way back in his sinuses, and he said when he pulled it out, it smelled so bad. And I was like, I bet you have a sinus infection. So they ended up giving him some steroids, and then they gave him like a cough syrup to help him sleep at night. It's not really cough syrup, but it helps break up the mucus. So, and then it has something in it to help him sleep as well, which is good because he was having an awful time sleeping, and then he would try to take NyQuil, and NyQuil would keep him awake. It was not working at all, so he was having a horrible time getting any rest. He would fall asleep and then couldn't stay asleep, and then he could not go back to sleep. So he was really struggling. But once he started those steroids, oh my gosh, it really helped him tremendously. Tremendously. I really think he was probably heading towards pneumonia because he was not getting better at all. If anything, he was getting worse. And like Wednesday, I was like, it's going into your chest, but it doesn't seem to be stopping in your head. That's what's so bad, because a lot of times I'll have a head cold and then it'll get in my chest. But if it's in my chest, it's not in my head anymore. You know what I mean? But for him, it was in his chest. It was starting to get in his chest, and it was in his head. So I was like, and he's diabetic, guys. So I was like, dude, I was really happy when he was like, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the doctor. Rather than being the guy thing of, oh, no, it's fine. And that drive me crazy. I remember one time me and Jeremy got into a fight. I don't know why I'm keep talking about me and Jeremy fighting today. Real talk. We got into a fight one time, and I don't remember what we were fighting about, but I do remember this so clearly because he was like, I'm perfectly healthy," or something like that, and I was like, "You're what?" I was like, "You've had a heart attack, you've got diabetes, you got this, you got that." I mean, I laundry listed him, and he didn't know what to say. I do have to say, though, after that day, I felt bad doing it, but after that day, he did take better care of his health. So maybe it did shock him into thinking that maybe he wasn't the picture of health he thought he was. Oh, speaking of health, I have gotten the notion that I want to do a 5K again. I've had this notion before, and I've tried, couch to 5K and failed miserably. I would try to do the first week or the first level, which is basically like, I think it's 8 times you do it. So you run like 8 minutes. But you basically walk for 5 minutes, then you jog for a minute, walk for a minute, jog for a minute, walk for a minute. And that's like the first week. And in the past, I could never get past the first week. I could not do it without just dying. I just was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I would feel horrible. I'd feel horrible the next day. It was just like, this is ridiculous. And I can't even do like the beginners. And one time I pushed through and I did like the first week, like for a month. And never felt any better, really. It was still a grind to get through. And I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to run a mile. Well, the other day I got the notion again, and a lot of it is just because when I compete for clogging, I get nothing. I get nothing. You know, I pay a lot of money and I get nothing. I get no awards, nothing. Because it's team. It's my team. My team has plenty of trophies, but yeah, me personally, none. And so I was like, it would be nice to get something for doing something. You know what I mean? So I thought, would it be nice? Because a lot of these 5Ks have really cute medals and things like that, and now they have all these virtual ones, which I know I could just cheat and just buy the medal. But I'm just like, I think it would be fun to be able to go and at least do like a fun run. I would just love to be able to do a fun run. So that has been my goal, is just to run a mile, with the ultimate goal of running a 5K. And Jeremy said he would do it with me. He's done 5Ks in the past, and he's like, I wouldn't even need to train. And I'm like, yes, you do. I was like, not as hard as me. I was like, but I would definitely want you to train a little bit before we do it. So I had put something up about it on Facebook, and it was funny because the first I kind of want to do a 5K. I'm in no shape to do a 5K, but that doesn't make the desire any less. And the first person who liked it was my boss, who is a avid runner. That is her exercise. That's her piece. She enjoys a good jog or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she might have done like cross country running in high school or whatever. And let me tell you, it keeps her thin. This girl eats donuts and sweets like they're going out of style, and she's a beautiful woman. So she was the first one, and the second one was my cousin Jen, who lives in Wyoming, who is also a runner, or a former runner. Really, she's been kind of out of the game for a while, and has talked about picking it back up. So they were the first two to like it. So I made the comment of, it's funny that the first two people to like this comment are runners. And then I put, gas. Is that how it starts, or something like that? I was like, gasp, is this how it starts? And so then several people kept saying, well, couch to 5K, couch to 5K, couch to 5K. And I'm like, dude, I have tried couch to 5K at least three. I know at least three times. I know. And I think there was more, but I know, I know I've tried it at least three times. So I put another post out, and I was like, has anybody ever done couch to 5K? And it worked. And then I had several people say, yes, I did. Some people's like, I did it, it worked, but it didn't stick. Some people were like, yes. Some people were like, there's another method that's similar to it that I might like, and all this stuff. So I got to thinking about it, and especially with my cousin Jen. Hold on, my cats are doing something stupid. Sorry, I got the back door open, and I got one of those magic mesh or whatever over because I have French doors. And the cats are sitting there because it's raining, and they're watching it rain. And Willow was grabbing that magic mesh because it's got a magnet on it, and the doors are metal. He was pulling that mesh and go bang, bang, as he would hit the door and stick. Sorry. I heard coughing, which scared me because I'm alone in the house, and then I realized it was Ember. So apparently she's got a hairball she's working on. So Jen and my other cousin Missy, who lives in Wyoming as well, and my sister cousin, Margaret, we've all formed a group, and even though Margaret doesn't want to do anything, I just put her in for the lulz. She's been doing the jump. I keep saying that. The ropeless jump rope. I keep wanting to say the jumpless. The ropeless jump rope, and she loves it because if y'all don't know, jump roping is like burns the most calories. So she's been working on that. So I just said, hey, join our group, and then it can be just whatever fitness goals anybody has, because there's no way that my fitness goals can line up to the fitness goals of my cousins who are 10 years younger than me, right? Because I'm the oldest, and Jen is probably about 12 years younger than me. Maybe not quite that much, but yeah. There's a pretty big difference between us, and then between me and Margaret, there's probably about 3 years. And then between me and Missy, 4 or 5. So yeah, I am the oldest. But yeah, I think when Jen suggested it, I thought it was great. It would be a good way to keep in touch. Because Missy just moved out to Wyoming not too long ago. A couple of years ago. It was funny. Jeremy broke up with me when he was all mad at me on that Sunday. And we were talking last night, and the weather was just beautiful. We were talking about the beach and all that. And we were sitting at the Sonic talking about the beach. And I said, I was like, you broke up with me that Sunday. And he's like, did I? And I was like, yeah, you sure did. And I was like, and I thought, I'll just move to Ocean Isle. And then he laughed and he's like, well, we can make that happen, which I was really confused about, because that was what our goal was. Our first goal was that when Kenan was grown, we were going to move to Asheville, because we had fallen in love with Asheville. And then over the years, Asheville has grown and become just really like expensive to live. It's like really expensive to live there now. So we kind of just were like, no, it's a cool place, but we'll just visit there, because it's just too much for what it is. It's pretty much like Knoxville, but in North Carolina. Um, so yeah, we were like, nah, we're not trading anything. We're not gaining anything. We're just trading, and then we're losing money because it's more expensive to live there. And then we discovered Ocean Isle, which Jeremy loved Ocean Isle. He went there when he was a kid and fell in love with it. And then he took me there and I fell in love with it. I had no idea. Just no idea. I always thought my heart was in Myrtle Beach, because that's where I went as a kid, and I knew that my heart belonged at the ocean. And I would cry every time we would leave. I would feel like when we pulled in at the beach, I felt like I was home. And then when we'd leave, I would cry because I felt like I was leaving myself. So I always said when I grew up that I was going to move to Myrtle Beach, and then life just happened and it never happened, and I just kind of let that part of myself go. And then when Jeremy and I got married, I started talking a lot about because we were high school sweethearts. We started talking a lot about our childhood and, being in high school and things like that. And I was starting to tell him about the times that I would go to Myrtle Beach and how I felt and all this stuff. And he started talking about Ocean Isle and how he loved it when he was a kid. And so we decided that we would go there because he wanted me to see it too. And when we went, I was just like, this is it. This is the place my heart has longed for. This is it. And so he was like, well, we can make a 5-year plan. And to be honest, I'm not hating that. We don't want to go anywhere until Kenan is established somewhere. Now, in my heart of hearts, I would like to give him this house and let him, take over payments or whatever. But I don't think Jeremy is keen on that. And it probably isn't for the best. So I will heed my husband's judgment. But this is definitely something I'm going to start praying about. Because I have to say, okay, let me back up a little bit. So we had decided, when, Kenan graduated and all that, we were going to move to Asheville. And then with all that, has happened with Asheville, we're like, nah. And then we went to Ocean Isle and I was like, this is the, we both cried. We both cried when we left Ocean Isle the very first time, both of us. And we both kind of knew. We were like, yeah, this is where we want to go. We even met some locals there, and they were very supportive. We were like, yeah, we even met a realtor there who was like, guys, you need to come. You would love it. He was like, I really think you guys would fit in great here. And some of the other people were like, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we didn't really make friends, like kept in touch with them, but it was pretty interesting the way they were all like, yeah, we think you would be, a great addition to this community kind of thing. So that, I mean, to me, that was just interesting that just right off, they were all like, yeah, we want to include you in this community. And it was really cool because we did do some like local things, like they had some local concerts. And we went and I found like this group of ladies that were like line dancing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these are my people. So, yeah, we decided then that we were going to move. And then Kenan graduated this year. But before then, I had started talking about, we need to start downsizing or something like that because, I was starting our 5-year plan. And then Jeremy was all like, well, I wouldn't mind living here for the rest of my life. And I was crestfallen because I was so excited for a new adventure and all that. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I just let it go. But it hurt because I thought, wait a minute. I thought we were going to go on this grand adventure. And now we're not. I don't understand. So it really surprised me when he last night was like, well, if you want to, we can do a 5-year plan. We could do a 3-year plan. So now I'm all like, I don't know. Do I want to? Do I want to go and start a new life? because I kind of do. You know, Jeremy has never lived anywhere else in his entire life. He's always lived here. Different parts of here, but still here. And I think a part of him, just when it started getting close, he started getting scared. But I think he would love it. But the thing is, it would be such a different life. Because, like, you know, right now he's used to going with his lifelong friends to, like, the football games and all that. And that wouldn't be something that he could do anymore. I got real quiet, didn't I? All right, I'll finishing up here as I am running out of things to say. But I will tell you guys about this. So, you guys don't know. Well, most of y'all don't know. But I put out a coloring book on Amazon. And it's just one color, just fill in the dots and squiggles kind of thing. Just a mindless activity. And it's just, I've been beta testing it really, just to kind of see. I really, to be in all honesty, I put it out and for me and my friend Nisa to get a copy so that we could see how it looked, if the pictures worked okay, you know, those kind of things. We're just testing it out. And Jeremy got so excited that he told people on Facebook. So a lot of them got it, and I was kind of horrified because I have not put in like the instructions or anything like that. So anyways, I sat down the other day and I made another book of Halloweenish type images. So I'm getting ready to release that. And when I do, I'm also going to update my first book with instructions and all that. So anyways, it's called Squiggles and Dots, if you can find it on Amazon. I think that's been the first time I've actually mentioned it on this channel. But yeah, I'll have to show it to you. I've been working on it, working in it, you know, to see what works and what doesn't and all that. So it's all a process. This is turning out real pretty. So it looks like we got some butterflies going on over here. And we got a butterfly right here. We got a lake over here. And we got some trees. Looks like a sun on the horsies. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. And until next time, bye.